cocktail fans. This is Bourbon Bill at Bourbon Bill's Pirate Bar. It's that spooky time of year, and we know that a lot of you are having Halloween parties and get-togethers. We have the perfect drink for that in this show. So we have just a couple of messages, and we're going to come right back after that to show you how to make the drunk ghost. We'll be right back. Hey, and welcome back. Now, this one was suggested by one of our readers, and we want to give a big shout out to CC2516 for suggesting that we do this. We hadn't done this one on the show before, but we wanted to make sure that you all enjoyed. This is a timely drink, seeing how we're getting into the spooky season here. So this one is called the Drunk Ghost. It comes to us from shakedrinkrepeat.com, and we want to thank those fine folks over there for sharing out that recipe. All right, now this one is a shaken drink versus what's called a build drink. Now you could actually do this in the glass and build it, you know, ingredient by ingredient, but because of one of the ingredients that we'll get to in just a minute, you'll see why it's better to use a shaker. All right, so before we get started, go pillage the fridge, and you're going to need just a few ingredients like coconut rum, vanilla vodka, coconut cream, and 7-Up or Sprite. And now there's a secret garnish that we're going to talk about a little later in the show. But go ahead and run and grab those 4 ingredients and come on back and let's make this fantastic drink together. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start off with our Mixology and Craft Boston Shaker set. There's a link for this down in the description so you can get your own right off of Amazon. All right, so our first ingredient is coconut rum. Our fine friends Connie up in Bismarck, North Dakota, we have a great relationship with them. We have the Heart River coconut rum that we're using today, and you're going to need 2 ounces. Now, if you don't have Heart River, you could use Mellow Boom Boom, but this is a great rum. It's not too forward on the coconut, but it really has a real rich coconut flavor. So we're going to start off with 2 ounces of that. And we're going to pour that right in the mixing tin. And for our second ingredient, we're going to use vanilla vodka. Okay, now you may not want to buy a whole bottle of vanilla vodka if you're not a big flavored booze fan. So today our good friend Jim Webb over at Manifest Distilling, we love the vodka that he pumps out at Manifest, and we're just going to use just the regular just their regular vodka, and just 1 ounce of vodka to put in that drink. But wait, he said, well, Wheeler, what about the vanilla part? Well, if you don't happen to have vanilla vodka, you can always reach into your pantry and 1 bar spoon of vanilla extract will actually do about the same thing. So you don't have to go out and buy a specialty bottle if you have a smaller bar at home. Okay, we always try to be cost conscious here on the show. All right, now the third ingredient is cream de cocoa. Now there's 2 basic brands out on the market. There's the Real cream de cocoa, which I prefer, and there's the ones that come in the little cans. The little cans are great, but once you open it, then you got to get it into another container to store it. This keeps in the refrigerator for weeks. So this one is a little thick, so this is why we typically do the coconut cream last, and I'll show you the jigger in just a minute. So we're going to need 2 ounces of that. Squeeze that right into the jigger, get that going, and you can see sometimes you might want to just set it out on the bar for a few minutes before you go to dispense it, so you don't have difficulty squeezing it out. There we go. Get that in, and we'll pour that in the jigger, and you can see how that delicious gooiness kind of goes in, but it also kind of gums up your jigger at the end. So that's why it's helpful to have a bar spoon handy for that, and it won't. And if you do that last, it won't throw off your measurements for your other ingredients. Now, like I said, this is a shaken drink, so we're going to just grab a couple agitator cubes, throw that in the mix, and give that a good slap, and give that a good shake. Now while we do that, go ahead and do Bourbon Bill a solid here and hit that subscribe, like, and if you like this show, give us a big thumbs up. It kind of helps the algorithm. Or since this is a seasonal drink, if you know somebody that's having a Halloween party coming up, go ahead and share this out to them. All right, I think that sounds just about right. The condensation's forming on the tin, and ooh, boy, I get pretty good little suction that time. All right, now let's talk about glassware. Now, if you've been keeping track, okay, we have 2 ounces of coconut rum, we have 1 ounce of vanilla vodka, we have 2 ounces, we're at 5 ounces, and we haven't even gotten to the last ingredient yet. So what we're going to need is really a tall glass. So we're going to use a highball glass, and if you haven't seen, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen some of our videos, we try to do what's called edutainment. So we try to give you the historical significance of certain barware and how drinks came about. So check out how to make a classic highball on our channel along with our other videos. All right, so we have a highball glass here. So we're already at 5 ounces and we haven't even introduced ice. So we're going to go ahead and top this up with ice. And this makes a lovely drink, and you can actually batch this ahead. And you know, if you have a party and you don't want to be stuck behind the bar, you can actually batch this pretty close to when your party starts, and it'll give you a chance to get drinks out in front of your guests in a hurry, and you're not stuck behind the bar, and you can enjoy yourself as much as possible too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and give this a strain because there's still a couple little fragments of ice in there. We don't want that just plopping into the glass. All right, so it's like, well, really, what about the difference? Well, you might have noticed we have one more ingredient on the bar. Okay, so yeah, the balance of this, it actually calls for 4 to 5 ounces of lemon lime soda, but I don't think we're going to have that much. We'll have probably 2 to 3, but we're going to go ahead and top this up with that lemon lime, which will really complement that vanilla and coconut flavor. And look how it actually kind of bubbles up a little bit on the top. Alrighty, so we're using Sprite today, but if you prefer 7-Up, by all means, it's just as much your drink as anybody. So we'll give that a gentle stir, and that little bit of frothiness on the top is actually kind of cool. But you know what? We're not done with this quite yet. All right, so it's always nice just to have a little garnish of some flavor on your drinks. It's part of the presentation. Of course, we're going to have our seasonal straw, our black and white, what I call Beetlejuice straw. We'll have that right in there. But at shakedrinkrepeat.com, they actually had a real cool idea. Peeps, the little sugar bunnies you get at Easter, Peeps actually makes little ghosts at Halloween. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any, but on their website they showed this drink with Peeps ghosts. It was actually very cool. So kudos to them for that. All right, but hey, since this is kind of a tropical thing going on, let's go ahead and add just a little bit more coconut flavor, and we're going to take some sweetened ground coconut flakes here, and we're just going to sprinkle some of that right on top. There we go, and that gives it a lovely texture, and a little bit extra, flavor as you go through the drink. And you can get that at your local grocery store. This particular one happens to be gluten-free because Bootleg Minnie, we have to take care of her, and she has to be worried about gluten, as many of you out there. And you know what? There you have it. This is the Drunk Ghost. Now, this will be a favorite at your next Halloween party. I know you can do this. Try this out on your own. Let me know how it comes out for you. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out our other videos on this channel, and we'll see you next time. Oh, one last thing. Go ahead and put in what city you're watching this in down in the comments, and if you made any changes to it, let us know how that worked out for you too. Well, that's it for today. This is Bourbon Bill at Bourbon Bill's Pirate Bar. You have a fantastic holiday and spooky season, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.